That's quite low.
I know, I slipped back. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good day so far. Is that a yes? Yes. That's what I like to hear. So as they lovely introduced us, I'm Krusha Vicaria, an AI analyst at Accenture, but for today, I'll be the host of this amazing panel. For the next 20 minutes, we'll be opening the doors to a conversation surrounding mentoring and intergenerational working. We'll explore the early influence, how mentoring looks in action today, and then also the responsibility as we build for our future. So as we get into it, I'll just ask the panelists to do a quick introduction to themselves, and also, what is your one word that you would use to describe mentoring? Who wants to start? Jenna?
So, hi, I'm Jenna, everybody. I am a freelance media creative, so I do a bunch of different things. I just do the things that I think I'm good at. So I talk, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a presenter. I also work in sports, culture, and media entertainment. So that's a bit of me. And one word I would say, pivotal. I think having a good or bad mentor can make or break you. So I think it is a pivotal moment, whether it's good or bad. That's dependent on the mentor, so yeah.
Hi everyone, I am Giovanni Sterling. I'm an agentic associate at Kiln, so we specialize in agentic advertising where we build ad concept protocol sales agents for global marketing companies. Outside of the tech industry, I'm also an award-winning music artist and the founder of an award-winning CIC, an outdoor community. Come outside. The one word I'd describe for mentoring is essential.
Nice, thank you. And Georgina?
Hi everyone, I'm Georgina Snape. I'm part of Accenture Song. I'm an experience transformation consultant within our AI and data practice. I'm also the social mobility lead for the Northwest, and I lead our Digilearning partnership. I think we've got a few Digilearning folk here today. And one of my, I can explain and describe mentoring in various ways, but just like yourself, Giovanni, it's essential. So the word I think I would pick is empowering. The experience I've had has been quite empowering, both for me and my mentors.
So pivotal, essential, and empowering. Keywords. So let's rewind back time and looking back to early influence, and I'll come to you first, Giovanni. You've got a lot on your palette of what you've been doing over the years. Did you have a mentor when you first started your career? And if you did not, how did that look?
I didn't have a mentor when I first started my career. I didn't have a formal mentor, but I feel like I had informal mentors around me, whether that was family members, friends, even like school teachers as well. So they played an informal role in mentoring me, whether they were giving me advice on what career to take or how to go about things that I found difficult. So I feel like growing up, you have informal mentors around you that support you, love you, and care for you. And I think those informal mentors around me whilst I was growing up really played a pivotal role in helping me get to where I am today and shaping me into the young man that I am.
That's amazing to hear. You don't necessarily realize if you don't have an official relationship with a mentor that they are a mentor, but everyone that comes down your path helps craft that path. So speaking of advice, I'll come to you, Janet, first, and then Georgina. What is one piece of advice that changed your trajectory?
For me, it's one step at a time. I'm neurodivergent and I really struggle with burnout. I also take on a lot more than I can handle because I think I can do it all. Then I find out very quickly that I can't. And then I get burnt out and then I don't really do stuff for a while, but then that makes me feel crap because I'm not doing stuff. And then it's just kind of like a cycle of burnout and then kind of just being like just doing nothing. So I think one step at a time was like a really pivotal piece of advice for me. And I think for many people, I was speaking to somebody earlier today and they said that hustle culture, although it's great to be grinding and doing a lot of stuff, sometimes it is toxic to like constantly bully yourself into believing that you should be doing more when you're probably doing the best that you can. So I think one step at a time for me personally is something that I really resonate with, and I think helps ground me in the times where I'm feeling really overwhelmed or exhausted, or also sometimes where I feel like I'm not doing enough. So yeah, I think one step at a time for everybody, whatever stage you're at in your life, just take it slow. It's all right. Like, the world's not going to end if you don't do something. You're going to be fine. So one step at a time. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing
Yeah.
to hear, because sometimes you need to have that pause to then be
Yeah.
able to move forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, Georgina?
I think mine would be, and I know we discussed this a lot coming onto stage and everything, but would be find your people. I think you can have many moments where you can feel very much lost, especially in junior parts of your career. Whereas when you find your people and you feel empowered to make the right steps and decisions, and also maybe the wrong decisions, but you've got the people around you to educate you, inspire you, promote you, catch you maybe when you fall. I think that's really, really important. And the more I find my people, the more I seem to move a little bit faster up whichever ladder I'm trying to climb.
And just on the topic of people, traditionally mentors are people that are usually senior to you, and I'll come to you, Georgina, first. What makes a mentor exceptional rather than just a senior?
Okay, so just on this one, I've experienced a lot of, more recently than actually prior, a lot of mentors that definitely lean into my career, and I'm super, super grateful of that. There are a few here as well. But my first formal mentor, he actually approached me with, will you reverse mentor me? And through his acknowledgement of wanting to learn and be educated by a much more junior person with a completely different perspective, and showing some sort of vulnerability, made me feel empowered to do that and take a responsibility, and also created a really nice, safe space. And I think that was really, really important, to be open to reverse mentoring. So then I actually didn't realize it would then go into full-blown mentoring. I was actually just very aware that I had to reverse mentor a senior leader in the firm, which then evolved to me learning a lot for 3.5 years. So overall, them being as vulnerable and open and willing to learn as you are currently doing, I think that's the best leader.
Yeah.
And not just mentor, but leader overall.
It creates that, in an AI term, that feedback loop that we all need to then better ourselves,
Yeah.
basically. But Giovanni, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, so that's a great point. I was going to say what makes an exceptional mentor is one that's teachable. So although they're there to mentor you, if they're open to learning as well, then it makes the relationship feel like it's two ways and not just one person talking at you. I'd say another thing to add to teachable is a mentor who's attentive. So one thing that I've found where I've got the most benefit from a mentor is the ones that sit and ask about me, and they really care about what I want to do, how I'm feeling, and they get an understanding of me. And I feel like through that understanding, it just helps us move forward together, like cohesively. So attentiveness. And then lastly, I'd also say a mentor that is willing to share. Because a lot of the time when we're trying to progress in our professional careers, it might take longer if we do things ourselves, but if we have a mentor that's already done it, if they can share those key nuggets to help us accelerate the speed that we're going to get there, that information is so crucial. So a mentor that's willing to share.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because with the knowledge, then you actually are equipped to be able to choose that path and everything. I'm going to flip it on you, Jannat. So mentoring does require a lot of trial and error. From your experience, what behaviors have you noticed in a mentor that quietly undermine a mentoring relationship, albeit the intentions are still good, but they might not be quite there yet with the...
Boy, do I have a lot to say. I have had a varied experience with mentors. Some very positive, like Lisa in the audience right now. Whoop, whoop, big up Digilearning. But also, I think a mentor is supposed to help you up the stairs and go up the steps with you. They're not supposed to stand at the top and shout at you and tell you to get up there. And I think at times it's been like that, where I feel like they're looking down on me instead of working with me to get up. And it can feel very condescending. And also, like, undermining because you start to doubt yourself and what you're capable of when you know what you're capable of. So I think I've had experiences where I feel like they have been looking down on me, and I don't know for whatever reason why. I also think as women in certain industries, I think it can be a bit difficult as well. I was in a space where I was expressing what I wanted to achieve in journalism, that I wanted to be a presenter and a reporter, and somebody else said to me, she said to me that if I want to be a pretty face on TV, I can go to Fox News. And first of all, thanks, you think I'm pretty, like, okay, cool. But on top of that, it's like, it's catty behavior and it's undermining. And I think it's finding that balance of knowing your worth and not letting that get to you, because I knew my worth and I knew wherever that came from, it was probably something that she felt in herself at one point. So it's knowing your worth as a person, but also knowing that, like, it's not a reflection of you, that if people do kind of emit these behaviors towards you, there is something that they feel in themselves that they're reflecting on you. So I think it's, like I said, it's very important to be very certain in who you are and what you're capable of. So when you do have these experiences, you can just leave it and just not, you don't have to force yourself to be that. And I think that's one of the things that I used to do a lot. I felt like if I got myself into some, really like high caliber rooms with high caliber people, I felt like I had to endure certain behaviors or comments or things like that, because I shouldn't be in that room. Therefore, I should be grateful that I'm in that room regardless of how I'm being treated. So I think it's knowing your worth, standing your ground, and knowing that if people do say negative things towards you, it's a reflection of their character and not yours. So that's just my personal experience.
No, definitely. And if you were to look back and start your mentoring journey again, what would you do differently? Like, how would you approach it differently?
I think, like I just said, I wouldn't force myself to say in rooms that I don't feel welcomed, because everybody says, you get in the room, like people do these events or schemes or things like that, that we're opening the door, but you open the door and I'm stood there, but you're not inviting me to the table and I'm just standing at the back, so there's no point of you inviting me into the room. It's knowing when to leave the room. If you're not respected, don't stay there. And I think I did that a lot. I allowed myself to be disrespected because I felt like I shouldn't be in that room in the first place, so I should just keep going with it. But no, stand your ground, guys. Don't let people disrespect you, and you're worth more than how people treat you badly. So, yeah.
No, definitely.
My advice.
No, definitely. You are your best cheerleader.
Yeah, basically.
And so moving on to responsibility, Giovanni, I'll come to you first. What responsibility do leaders have to open doors?
I feel like if leaders want the world to continue to move forward, they've got the responsibility to share that knowledge and information. So if someone's gatekeeping and doesn't want to share that information, then things are going to inevitably come to an end, right? So I think leaders have every responsibility at their disposal to share and encourage and build up the next generation in order for humanity, for industries, for society to keep moving forward in a positive way, but also in a way that is innovative. Because if there isn't change and if leaders aren't allowing the younger generation to step into roles to move things forward, then things are going to be stagnant. There's going to be no change. So I think leaders have to just let us in.
Yeah.
Let us in.
It's like if you're sitting at the table, let us be at that table.
Yeah.
Georgina, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and just approaching it from a slightly different perspective, whether you're a senior leader and a junior leader. I know in the firm we consider, regardless of levels, you are a leader. And I think this comes to the point around reverse mentoring and the necessity for reverse mentoring and regular mentoring. But also, I think if you're a younger generation or a more senior, older generation, there is always room to learn, whether that's learning off your juniors or learning off your seniors. So regarding opening doors and bringing a seat to the table, however you're doing it, you should always be thinking about how to shake things up and invite new creative minds to the table, whether they're of a younger generation or an older generation, because I think we need to cross-pollinate all of our knowledge to be able to move forward and be in this new world.
No, definitely, especially like as we've noticed with like technology, it's such a rapid like change, and there's so much growth that happens, but then there's also people that have the key skills that leaders might not have at the moment. So opening those doors is such a key responsibility. And talking about responsibility, this is to all of you, so I'll start with you, Georgina, first. What is one piece of action that everyone in this room can take and implement in the next 30 days?
Find someone to mentor and find someone to mentor you. So if you are a junior, find a senior to mentor you and reverse mentor them or somebody else. And if you are a senior and someone new, because you can't, it's good to have a good palette of mentors. And if you are senior, find someone to reverse mentor you and mentor somebody. I think that would be my piece of advice, because we create a nice little community of knowledge.
Thank you. Giovanni?
I would say, I'm going to strip it back and say, every day for the next 30 days, say something nice to one person you've never met before.
I love that.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of the time, a relationship can be built from just being nice to someone. And you don't know what that conversation or that compliment may spark. So I think if you strip it back and just approach someone that you've never met and just say something nice to them, you really don't know where that one conversation could take you.
No, definitely. I kept complimenting Georgina's fashion, and now she's one of my mentors. So that definitely works.
She also worked really hard, and it's brilliant, by the way.
Jannat, I'll pass it on
hard to really beat that. I think this one's a bit difficult. This is going to sound generic, but be committed rather than consistent. I think consistency, again, what I was talking about earlier, it gives you this constant pressure that you have to be a certain way, and it's make or break, and if you don't. But if you're committed to yourself, committed to your cause, committed to your art or your craft, whatever it is that you do, I think in that there's bound to be growth. So I've been trying this recently. It's working out okay. I'm here, so, it's working, guys. But I think stay committed to yourself and your cause. Just be true to yourself. Find ways to find who you are and express that. I think life can get so busy. The world is so crazy all the time. I think you lose yourself in the busyness and hecticness of life and responsibilities around you. So do one thing every day that feeds your soul. We feed ourselves, we try to pay our bills, we do our jobs, but feed your soul. I know Lisa likes to go on a walk every morning and touch trees. So, if you need to go and touch trees, go do that. But I think just find a way that feeds your soul and re-energizes your soul, because I think that's a part that we negate quite a lot within ourselves. So that would be my advice.
So there you have it. For the next 30 days, we challenge you to... You looked at me and then I lost train of thought.
What would your advice be?
My advice? Why did you flip it back on me? I'd say for the next 30 days, it does feed off of everything that everyone has said, but try and have an open conversation with at least one person. Because what I've learned, especially when I came to the corporate world, is that if you don't tell, you won't get, and people won't see you. So I'm usually a very shut-off person, even with my family. No one knows what's going on in my head, usually. But I've tried to be more open about what I'm feeling, but also what I want out of the next few years or my career. So having that honest, open conversation, that's what I would challenge everyone to do the next 30 days, along with finding a mentor or a mentee, staying true to yourself, and saying something nice every day, and staying committed. So thank you to our panelists, first of all, for being here and having this conversation. And just remember that it's all of our responsibility to make sure that mentoring itself makes sure that success isn't accidental, but accessible. Thank you. So a big round of applause for everyone here.
Big thanks to Crusher as well for hosting.
Cool. So now that the panel's over, we will begin the speed networking mentoring session with Lisa and, can't see the other lady. Oh, there, Leanne. Sorry, the lights are really bright. Leanne. So yeah, come on stage.